Show me the colors that are warm colors. They're the ones that look like the sun. So I want you to pick all three of them up and raise them over your head in one hand. That way I can check. And I see around the room consistently yellow, red, and orange. Excellent. Set those aside for a minute. Fold them up. Not fold them. Collect them together and set them aside. And the remaining colors, the green, the blue, and the purple, are called what colors? Yes?
Cool colors?
They're cool colors, aren't they? So a way to remember that is if you have warm colors. May I borrow yours for a moment? Yeah. Warm colors remind us of the sun, don't they? Okay, they're hot. And you look up at the sun and you see red and orange and yellow going crazy on your eyes. Don't look at the sun, please, because that's dangerous. But those are warm colors. Well, where do we go to get away from the hot sun? We go to
a house.
We go to a house, but and if we're outside, where do we go? Adriana?
A pool.
We go to a pool. What's in the pool?
Water.
Water. And what color is the water?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. And if there's no water around, we can go under the shade of a
tree
where it is
green.
Okay, so that's a way to remember those warm colors and cool colors. Okay, now we have primary colors, secondary colors, warm colors, and cool colors. We have 4 different color schemes. I would like you to select any one of those color schemes. Deja, what color scheme are you using?
Cool.
Cool colors. And what colors do you have there?
Green, blue, and purple.
Green, blue, and purple. Very good. And Adriana, what color scheme are you using?
Warm.
Warm colors, and those colors are?
Red, orange, and yellow.
Okay. Does anyone have primary colors as one of your choices?
Red, yellow, and blue.
Red, yellow, and blue. What's the one that's missing? We have primary colors, we had warm colors, we had cool colors, we have, Judy?
Secondary colors.
Secondary colors. Are those the colors you've chosen? Okay, what colors are they?
Orange, green, and purple.
Orange, green, and purple. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to take a moment or two to come around and have you tell me individually what they are that you've chosen. And put the remainder of the rectangles in the center of the table. Okay, does everybody have a larger rectangle now to go that matches one of the cards you have? Yeah. Excellent, because we're trying to keep our color scheme going here, all right? I want you to do something for me. I want you to take your larger rectangle, fold it like this. Because this is the basis for your card. Take one of your smaller rectangles and put it right on top. What word describes the relationship between this shape and this shape? Erica?
They're the same size.
They're the same size. And when you have 2 shapes that are the same size that are identical, what's that word? Begins with a C. They are, Laura?
Congruent.
Congruent. Good job. Okay, so not only do we have congruent shapes, we have similar shapes, we have overlapping shapes, and so on. Great. So now, what I'm going to do next is show you ways in which you can use positive and negative space with your card. The first one is simple, just a very simple use of positive and negative space. I'm going to cut a design out of here, out of one of my colors. And since I know that this is the same size as that, I can put it right on there, can't I? All right? So now, I'm going to cut a large, any old shape. Now, I have 2 shapes, don't I? One is positive, the other is negative. So I have the choice of using my shape that way, or I could put this on there. It's also possible that if I decide to use this shape, that I could cut it again, and this time I'm going to use a flowing cut. Put it on here and separate the 2 to create more negative space. Some people think this is a scrap now. Not the case. we can use that here, or perhaps we want to repeat the same shape on the inside and do it that way. Now you notice my shape doesn't have any meaning to it at all, does it? It's just a plain old shape. But I'm going to expect you to think about the kind of card you want to send to someone and think of what symbols or what shapes would have the most meaning for you in your card. So that's one way to do it. That's a very simple positive, negative shape exercise. Another one could be a symmetrical shape. The way we cut symmetrical is we hold the fold, we fold our piece in half, and we start cutting on the fold. And I'm going to make a, what shall I make this time? I think I'm going to make just a simple shape like this. And notice I've cut around my thumb and forefinger, and I finished cutting on the fold. When I open it, I have a symmetrical shape, do I not? All right? But I have a symmetrical positive shape and a symmetrical negative shape. So I can do the same thing here as I did with the other. I can use the positive shape here or the negative. But we can get more creative than that. I'm going to take this one piece right here and I'm going to cut some more off of it. And watch what I do. I'm holding the fold. Say that for me. Hold the fold. If you want a symmetrical shape. So I'm going to cut in this way. And I'm going to cut all the way around the original shape that I had. And now I have a smaller geometric shape, a smaller symmetrical shape, and I have the outline of the symmetrical shape. And you notice now that I've got positive and negative space going again, haven't I? I can put my smaller one on the inside, like that. And my scraps, I can put on the inside. So I have a repetition of the same shape using positive and negative space for my card. Now the next one is even more complicated. This one is going to show a way to use positive and negative space where the cover of your card has a real negative space in it. There's a hole cut out of it. So here, I'm going to make one cut in to get to the shape that I want to make, and then I'll cut my shape out. So let's say I want to make a large circular shape here. Cut it out like that. Not a very good circle. Let's call that a teardrop instead, okay? Now we have an open shape here, but what I can do now is bring another color underneath, and we have our positive and negative space this way. So now we have lots of ideas. Your job is to do the following. Is to select a theme for your greeting card. In other words, am I going to write a thank you note? Am I going to write a note that says, just thinking of you, welcome home? Then you've got your color scheme already selected, either warm colors, cool colors, primary or secondary. Then you create the symbol or the design that you want. Now, let's think about it. Let's say you wanted to send a thank you note. Is there any particular shape that you need to use for that? But let's say it's St. Patrick's Day. What are some of the symbols for St. Patrick's Day? Caleb?
Four-leaf clover.
A four-leaf clover would be a very good example of that. Valentine's Day. Everybody knows that one. What is it? A heart, certainly. So think of those kinds of symbols that you can use, or any kinds of shapes that mean something to you, and you can create that by cutting out and using the three different colors that you have. And then finally, on a separate sheet of paper, and I have those for you at your table, these white papers like this, I want you to practice your greeting for the inside. Once you have practiced it and you've decided what you're going to write, then you have a felt pen like this to write it actually in the card when you're ready. And you can write on the cover or on the inside or both.